Hello and welcome to PS Such a Connection. I'm P.
And I'm S, and we're talking about episode 6
Yes.
of this season of The Bachelor. I want to just throw this out there, one of the most depressing episodes that ever
Yeah, it was
come.
pretty much a train wreck.
It was just, people were angry and sad, they were alternating
Yeah,
between angry and sad just the whole episode.
it was a pretty rough episode.
It was.
Yeah, so it starts off with Taylor confronting Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick being like, thanks for your input, but no thanks.
Which, like we talked about, he has this knack. Maybe it's practice, but for handling these situations,
Yeah.
he's just really good at just saying, the kind of mature thing. And he's like, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I'm gonna figure this out for myself.
Yeah.
And that was that.
I do think he's, like, completely ignoring it, though, because he's just like, whatever, Corinne, and, like...
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but he says the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he handled a lot of situations really well this episode.
Yeah.
And also some not so well. But the talking he gets right.
Yeah.
It's the actions that he gets wrong, I think.
Yeah. That's a dangerous kind of guy. A good talker who does
that's like
all
exactly
the wrong
what
things.
You don't want.
Yeah.
And then they go to St. Thomas. Oh no, then the rose ceremony, which, oh my god, that carriage being pulled up to the house and with horses, like that house that they were at to do the rose ceremony, it was gorgeous. I was losing my mind.
They have a knack for choosing. I mean, imagine if we were watching a season of The Bachelor and they pull up to this, like, ratty old disgusting, and we're like, something's wrong here. I don't think...
I just want to be a part of the team that they're like, alright, so we're going to pick where we're going to go this year.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go there first and see what works.
Yes.
I'd be like, on board, got it.
Bachelor interns, hook us up.
So, yeah, 3 girls went home, which, I mean, is kind of expected because there were so many girls there.
Compared to the same time last season.
Yeah, and the only girl that I was surprised, and I wasn't even that surprised, was Alexis.
Yeah, I think we were all more sad.
Yeah, it was... And she cried, and I was like, no.
That made me sad. Don't cry, Alexis. Because, she acts like the tough girl. And she is. She's like, she's comfortable with herself and like with the other women. And, it just showed that she did kind of have emotions invested in it. Yeah.
I wish they'd showed us more. I mean, I'm happy with them just showing funny moments from her because she's hysterical. But I wish they'd showed more of her serious moments.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then the other 2 who went home were
Jamie and Josephine.
Jamie and Josephine. Well, we saw those 2 coming a mile away, so.
Yeah, I thought Josephine was going to go home week 2.
Yeah.
I thought Josephine was going to go home week 1. But she kept staying, so I wouldn't have been that surprised if she stayed, just because I would have been like, well, that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I keep thinking she's gonna go home, and she doesn't. But yeah, those 3 girls seem to be, and honestly, Whitney and Jasmine too. I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah, that's true. A theme on Twitter tonight was, who is Whitney? That kind of like,
oh,
was she here the whole time? Are we sure?
I missed that.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw this in the garbage. So we can talk about Christina's one-on-one.
Yeah, so Christina got chosen for the one-on-one, and Jasmine kind of freaked out a little bit.
Which, okay. it's understandable to have little freakouts, like, to get
Yeah.
emotional about something. But then you kind of collect yourself.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna be it, and I was like, I get it, like, that's fine. I thought they were gonna give her another one-on-one, but then it ended up being a two-on-one, which probably would have gone down worse.
That's true.
So, yeah, Christina got the one-on-one, and that was a pretty cool date. Like, they rode around in that helicopter thing.
Mm-hmm.
But all of them seemed to get to do that. So.
Yeah. So Christina is kind of amazing.
Incredible.
Like, as a human being, she's just amazing. Like, you know, her whole backstory, right? Just, like, inspiring and everything. And I think Nick was really impressed.
Yeah.
But overall, I didn't, like, see chemistry.
Yeah,
really.
I don't think they're right for each other.
Yeah.
But she's amazing.
Yeah. I wonder, it makes me wonder about her relation, because she got adopted at 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how close she is with her adopted family. And she has such a big family that I wonder.
I have a friend who got adopted at 10.
Yeah.
And she's really close with her family.
Gotcha. That's good.
So, you met her.
Who?
Lana?
I don't remember. I'm sorry. The one that I always thought was blonde?
She is blonde.
Oh, then I have no idea who we're talking about. But
no, that's Elena from school.
Oh.
This is from here.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I understand. I know who you're talking about.
She was also adopted from Russia, as a matter of fact, or Ukraine, something like that.
Nice. What a small world.
I basically know Christina.
Yeah. But yeah, I think she's amazing, but like in regards to Nick, I think she's maybe a little bit too reserved.
Yeah.
Like, she's not as goofy, and like I wouldn't expect a goofy personality to come out of like my mother abandoned me in Russia.
Yeah. I feel like she can let loose. They just aren't like, that's not like her main personality. Yeah. And I feel like that is Nick's main personality.
Yeah. Exactly. But we support you, Christina, and we hope you find love. This is assuming that you don't win, but you could still. We don't know.
And then they had the group date, which went horrifically. It was going pretty good at first. They were playing volleyball. They were having fun.
Yeah.
They were on a boat. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I don't even know the turning point. Like, it was just like...
I completely missed something.
Yeah, something happened.
Because everyone was angry. I know there was, like, that moment where Corinne was, like, getting drunk and Nick called her back and they, like... She went to jump on him and he was, like, hugging her and they were, like, making out or whatever. Yeah. But it seemed like they moved past that and then everyone, like, broke down and freaked out.
If someone knows what happened to get, like, literally everyone mad, can you just, like...
Yeah, I may have to watch it again because, like, I don't even think they showed it.
Someone tell us. But, from what I gather, it was just that, like, this kind of consuming feeling, like, they was just starting to get aggravated, and then it was just, like, everyone could feel it, and there was this tension, and everyone was like, ah. I didn't see it in the show, but in a promo, Jasmine pushed Sarah over. I thought she pushed Corinne over. No, I thought it was Sarah.
Who's Sarah? There's no Sarah.
Danielle. Danielle M, who I always think is Sarah, because Sarah went home, and the Sarah and Danielle M I got mixed up all the time. But yeah, Danielle. So what do you think about then? Because the main event after that. Okay, well, actually, I want to talk about Rachel.
Yeah.
Because everyone was on edge. And I think this is the beginning of the downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nick is getting all this negative feedback from all the women.
Yeah.
No one's happy. No one is feeling this date. And, like, he's not getting genuine conversations with anyone. It's all just like, I'm not happy. This isn't really for me. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, so he had to just feel awful after all that barrage of, like, women being like...
Yeah. And also with, like, Rachel, who he came so far with last time, and Danielle M., who had, like, a good time with last time, too. Like,
yeah, I think especially with... I want to say, especially with Rachel, for me, I don't want to see them backtrack, but I thought they did just because he was in such a bad place.
Yeah. And I don't think... That's one of the conversations I don't think he or she handled very well.
Yeah.
It was very accusatory, and,
Yeah.
like, I think he was just so thrown off guard that he wasn't handling it well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I felt like... And I get it. It's a tense situation, but I felt like all of the girls were just, like, throwing hissy fits.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. And then this just... It snowballs then because, I mean, this tension is there and, like, Jasmine's going crazy and Nick is feeling bad and, like, like you were saying, with girls that he had these strong relationships with, like, and all of a sudden kind of had a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then Jasmine comes in a little bit crazy.
A little bit crazy.
A lot crazy.
She was a lot crazy. And I understand where every single thing that she said was coming from.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But she was like, it's insulting to me that I haven't got a one-on-one. But she's not the only one who hasn't got a one-on-one. And she's also... like, no one has gotten 2 one-on-ones.
Yeah. So it's not like... So, like, what she's feeling is relevant because, like, she's feeling, but, like, she could have then expressed those feelings and then been understanding and then moved on to talk about something else and, like, had a relevant... Yeah, so...
Instead, she went the choking route, which maybe works in some cases.
I think she panicked. I think it was a panic.
She definitely panicked.
Panic move.
But yeah, it came across a little crazy.
A lot like, she just kept going back to the neck, and Nick was like...
And saying she was gonna put him in the chokey, which she never explained was from Matilda. I'm not even sure it was. I think she may have come up with it on the spot.
I don't know.
You also don't get choked in the chokey.
It's just like a nail coffin.
Yeah.
Right? But, yeah, so Nick, I think, in the culminating event of the night, had to send Jasmine home because she was being crazy.
Yeah. I hated that they tried to make it seem like that was gonna be Rachel. Like,
come on.
It wasn't gonna be Rachel. Which we know because they showed us that Rachel's still there later on. You can't play us like that, Bachelor.
You think we forget these things.
I remember.
Forget. We do remember. But yeah, so you have anything else to say about that whole...
No, that was just
situation?
A disaster.
It's a disaster. Which moves into this other disaster of the second 2-on-1 of the season.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be super boring, and it was, honestly. Like,
I mean, they showed like 5 minutes of it.
Yeah. So they like go to the island, and he's like talking with both of them, and then he's like, bye, Whitney. And then...
and Whitney, like, right, this was like all we got to see of her.
She cracked.
Yeah. She was like...
Before the date, they were showing, like, oh, me and Danielle, we get along really well, so, like, I don't think we're gonna be pit against each other or anything. And then he says that he doesn't, like, see it going further with her, and she's like, Danielle's a bitch. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she just, like, I don't know, broke down or something, and
Yeah.
all we got to see was this, like, gross, childish, petty, going out, like, thing.
Yeah.
On her way out, kind of last
Yeah,
moves.
it was unfortunate.
Who she called out like 3 different girls. She was like,
Really?
"Oh, Danielle, what you think? Oh, like what? Like 2 other girls. The Vanessa, is she the match for you? Like,
Oh, I just heard the Danielle
there was like
thing.
3 girls.
It's insane. Yeah. I would do the same thing though, so I can't fault her. But yeah, it was a little like complete flip from the interviews they were showing before the date. And then Danielle was like, all right, I'm set. And then she wasn't at all.
And it was rough. Danielle was in my top. I like, cause they even talked about it, this awesome date.
Yeah. See, I didn't feel the same way about that date, but I still didn't see this coming. I didn't think he was gonna send her home. I think it was the I love you. If she hadn't said I'm falling in love with you,
yeah,
I don't think he would have sent her home.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is like, it's like almost a move. You know, I felt like it was a move. You know, it
By
wasn't,
her?
yeah.
Really?
'Cause like, you have, like, I think that you feel these vibes. And if you're feeling a negative vibe and you try and pick it up with something like that's kind of uplifting and like maybe trying to strengthen your relationship a little bit, bring it back to what it was, and it just kind of crashed it and burned it.
Yeah.
Poor Danielle.
I was also scared because he said, this is the second time that someone has told me that they love me and I haven't felt it. And I was like,
Raven.
He did give her the group date rose, though.
Yeah.
So, and she said it on accident and
Yeah.
in a more lighthearted way, so maybe there's still room for that to grow.
Hopefully.
I hope so, because I love her so much.
Yeah.
And she was the only one on that group date who didn't attack him, and Corinne, but Corinne was passed out drunk.
Yeah.
I really think she has a drinking problem.
It's hard to argue against that, so...
I mean, like, I get it. There's alcohol and it's in front of you 24/7. I get drinking all the time, but, like, it's a bit of a problem when you're, like, about to pass out on the volleyball court.
Yeah, because, like, not really, like, I think it's a drinking problem if you are never not drinking.
Well, yeah, but if it's, like, available to you and you're just, like, you aren't even paying attention to how much you're drinking, you're just, like, oh, and then someone, like, replaces your glass while you're not looking, like, I feel like they do things like that, like, maybe not replacing it while you're not looking, but they're just like, oh, do you want another one? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Gotcha.
And
but
you aren't, like, counting how many you've had.
She does seem to be more frequently inebriated than anyone else.
Yeah. I think, like, everyone thinks she's very confident, but I don't think she's confident at all.
No, you can see right through. We see through you, Corinne.
But she wasn't really the focus of this episode anyway.
I saw one tweet that was like, why isn't anyone mad at Corinne anymore? And the reply was, look, we're distracted.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Nick panics.
That's, yeah, he just loses it. And he goes in to see the girls, and it's almost, it's not, I think that if he had taken, like, a night, slept on it, he would have woken up feeling just a little bit better, and then kind of more in a less emotional state went to talk to the girls. He would have gotten more out of it, and they would have, because, like, as he went in there so emotional and crying, they couldn't say anything
Yeah, and they were like they didn't, I mean, they wouldn't have expected him to come in anyway, but they weren't expecting him. And they were like in this state, like they just saw both girls go home on the group date. So they're panicking and he's panicking, and that clashes.
Yeah.
Because no one can communicate then. It's all just
yeah, and I think he would have
tension.
gotten at least one girl, if he had come in, maybe the next day, kind of said some reassuring words like, look, we're all still here for you, and, we're going to see this thing through to the end, kind of, and it would have made him feel a little bit better, but it was and I understand why he wanted right away to be like, guys, look, I'm kind of in a state right now, but it was kind of self-sabotage.
Yeah. And I mean, he clearly doesn't leave. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the show's gonna finish.
Yeah.
But, it's, I mean, it must be hard because he probably thought when Caitlyn brought him onto her season that he was gonna end up with Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And, like, not for nothing, he probably also thought he was gonna end up with Andy. But, like, when you get brought onto a season, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, like, I completely understand where he's coming from if he's just not in the same place that he thinks these women are.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my hopes for next episode are really that he calms down and refines what he had in his stronger relationships.
Yeah.
And sees, like, I really do like them. It's not, I mean, he's not gonna give up, but,
Yeah. Like, I hope he doesn't just continue while feeling like shit.
Yeah.
Just being like, maybe it will get better, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because that would suck.
Yeah. And, we don't want to, like...
And I hope it's not with Corinne, too. I hope it's not like, oh, you're gonna fuck me. I guess I found love.
No, I hope not. I hope not. But, yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully next episode.
Yeah.
We pick back up on the happy train.
Follow us on Twitter at Such a Connection.
We live tweet every week.
Next week should be an interesting one. So, bye.